If you're a teenager today but feel like you were born in the wrong era, constantly drawn to the 80s aesthetic, music, and culture, there's actually fascinating psychology behind why certain eras resonate so deeply with people who never lived through them. This isn't about being quirky or different for the sake of it. Your connection to the 80s reveals something meaningful about your personality, your values, and what your mind is seeking in an increasingly complex digital world. Understanding this can help you appreciate why you're drawn to that decade and what it says about who you are. From a psychological perspective, nostalgia for an era you didn't experience is called anemoia, and it's rooted in how your brain processes safety, simplicity, and authenticity. The 80s represents a time before constant digital connectivity, before social media scrutiny, before information overload. Your attraction to this era often reflects a personality type that craves boundaries between public and private life, values tangible experiences over digital ones, and seeks environments with less cognitive overwhelm. Research in personality psychology shows that people drawn to past eras often score higher in traits like introspection, creativity, and sensitivity to overstimulation. Your brain is essentially seeking what it perceives as a more manageable, authentic way of existing. In daily life, this shows up in distinct ways. You probably prefer physical media like cassette tapes, vinyl records, or VHS aesthetics because they feel more real and intentional than streaming everything. You might gravitate toward 80s fashion because it feels bold and self-expressive without needing to perform for social media algorithms. You likely appreciate how friendships in the 80s seemed deeper because they required effort, face-to-face time, and weren't measured in likes or followers. When you watch 80s movies or listen to 80s music, you're not just enjoying entertainment, you're experiencing a world that operated at a pace your nervous system finds more comfortable. This isn't escapism. It's your mind identifying an environmental match for your internal needs. The deeper psychological reason involves how your generation processes unprecedented levels of choice, comparison, and exposure. The 80s had limitations that paradoxically created freedom. Limited TV channels meant shared cultural experiences. No internet meant genuine boredom that sparked creativity. No smartphones meant presence in physical moments. Your attraction to these limitations reveals high self-awareness. You recognize that constraints can actually reduce anxiety and increase fulfillment. Psychologically, you're responding to what researchers call the paradox of choice. When options are endless, decision-making becomes exhausting and satisfaction decreases. The 80s aesthetic represents structure, boundaries, and simplicity that your mind craves as an antidote to modern life's chaos. Here's what makes this attraction a genuine strength. You possess historical perspective that many peers lack. You can identify what previous generations had that's worth preserving. Authentic connection, creative problem-solving without Google, patience, commitment to friendships and interests. You're not blindly accepting that newer automatically means better. This critical thinking protects you from burnout and helps you create boundaries with technology that improve your mental health. Your appreciation for analog experiences makes you more present, more creative, and more capable of deep focus. You're essentially taking the best of both worlds. Modern opportunities with 80s values around presence and authenticity. Understanding this about yourself matters because it validates your instincts. You're not being difficult or pretentious when you prefer older ways of doing things. You're honoring what your personality genuinely needs to thrive. The 80s resonates because it reflects values and pacing that match your internal wiring. This self-knowledge helps you make choices that support your well-being rather than forcing yourself to adapt to every modern trend. You can embrace technology where it serves you and opt out where it doesn't, based on genuine self-understanding rather than peer pressure. You're not stuck in the past, you're selectively drawing wisdom from it. If this video helped you understand yourself better, subscribe for more psychology content, and like this video to help others find it too.